Okay, looks like we're up and going where we should. Let me get this loaded on my phone. I'm used to doing Facebook Live, so I have to remember where I'm going here. Aloha to Alex. Let's see. There we go. Find it on there, and then we'll have, there we go. Always like to have those comments in two places so I can look both ways. Hello, Allison from Denver. Hello, Nancy. And we're switching up today. Normally Leah does YouTube Lives on Tuesday, and I do Facebook Lives on Thursday. But Leah had been traveling and I think had a fun weekend and had lost her voice. So we decided to switch. I have no idea which one of us will do Thursday, or, you know, life might happen. We might end up skipping. I know this Friday's scrapbook live we're going to skip because Natalie, who does those, was told by her power company she wasn't going to have power that day. So kind of hard to do a live without power. So she's going to skip out on that one. I'm just going to give a few more minutes for everybody to find us and get on here. And hold on, I'm going to plug in my hot foil machine while I'm thinking of it. I might want to get that. There we go. I'll get that powered on and warming up. That way I know it'll be ready to go. Because it does take a little time to heat up, and I wasn't 100% certain if I was going to hot foil or stamp today, but I think I decided we're going to hot foil, even though you can go either way on it. So Ashley Bright, welcome. First time, how fun. Glad you're here. So yes, as everyone starts to kind of trickle in here, I'm seeing the numbers go up. A couple things. Oh, and Paulette, hello from Northwest Pennsylvania. I almost thought Pacific Northwest for a minute. My mind rearranged those letters. So yes, if you are new here, like Ashley Bright, please let us know in the comments. We'd love to say hi and welcome you. We might miss those as they go by, but we're really just trying to give you a shout out if you're here for the first time. And also, if you're here for the first time, a couple of things: leave lots of comments, ask questions, answer questions. All of those count as an entry for a $15 gift card at the end of our live. And then you can also click that share button if there's somewhere that you can go ahead and share that, whether you send it to a friend, share it in a group if it's allowed, kind of whatever works on that. And then leave another comment and let us know that. Let's see. I have trouble with hot foil covering completely. Well, Allison, I'll try and kind of cover what gives me good luck on it. So it all depends on the paper, the foiling machine, the pressure of your die cut machine, all of that. And yes, it is Leah behind the scenes. And also as you leave those comments for an entry in the gift card, I do my best here to watch these as I'm crafting. Sometimes I miss them. If I miss them, Leah does a really good job behind the scenes of catching and answering. If it's something I need to answer, if it's a question about what I'm doing and I miss it, or if both of us miss it by some chance, please go ahead and ask it again, because I promise we're not ignoring you. Sometimes it just slips by with all the comments. So yay, Allison. Okay, and I'm going to be using my Spellbinders Glimmer machine. So I'll actually be showing on the same machine that you're using. So hopefully we can give you some tips and tricks a little as we work on it today. All right, so it looks like we've got a few people on here. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, I think I said that at the beginning that Leah has no voice, but she's not sick or anything. It's just she had fun with friends, and we're all used to staying home and introverting and not being around a bunch of friends and talking, so our voices aren't used to that workout. So I can imagine that if I did the same, I would be in the same boat. I also have my fan going today because it's starting to really warm up here, and since it's now afternoon, I've got my fan kind of aimed on me, so hopefully that doesn't mess with sound for anyone. If you have any trouble hearing, please let me know. Otherwise, let's go ahead and switch the camera around. Looks like my Glimmer machine is almost warm, so we can start kind of getting it set up and ready to go and be ready to, start hot foiling here in a minute. So let me switch my camera around and we will go ahead and get started. Move my laptop out of the way. Also, as you click on here, we'd love it if you click that little like button at the bottom. Leah had a wild night, yeah. If you click that like button, that helps just kind of make it more visible so more people can see and join us. All right, we are going to use today, I'm pretty sure we haven't used it for one of the lives yet, but it's part of the most recent release, the Sweet Friend set. You can see my label here that I keep it all baked up on. So it was one of the sets that released that has a beautiful stamp set. You can see on there that one piece floral stamp. It also has a hot foil plate, which of course matches up with the stamp set, and then that one piece coordinating die. So you get these beautiful five florals, and I have tons of different ink colors. So we're going to use the layering stencils and do some really simple masking. So each one of our flowers can end up being a different color, because why not? It's kind of fun that way. So, and I thought it would be kind of, I mean, I could stencil them 5 times and get the 5 different colors, but I kind of wanted to just get a rainbow of fun wildflowers. So, all right. And my platform's almost ready. So I'm sure by the time I get my cardstock ready, we're going to be set to go. And I still need to cut my foil. It's kind of a last minute switch for me to do it. So kind of, oh, and there my platform's ready. So we are all set to go. So I'm going to start off by trimming down a piece of foil. I like to use the little Spellbinders. You can just use scissors. I really like this little gadget from Spellbinders that makes it so much easier to trim it down to the right length. You just set up your die on the top there, and it's got this little cutter that'll cut it perfect right through there. Let's see if I got it. There we go. Just a little bit easier than scissors, not necessary, but I'm going to use my Spellbinders Glimmer. So I'm using some Glimmer hot foil. It's the color of it is Aurora, which is basically a gold with a little bit, I don't know if it shows in live, but I think it does. It looks like it shows on camera. It's got like a rainbow sheen to it. So it's gold, kind of a platinum gold with a little bit of a hint of a rainbow in the background, which goes really well with the rainbow of color we're going to create. And yes, I really do love just how whimsical this set is. That's part of my favorite. I'm going to trim this down, I think, just a little more. So one thing that helps with getting less overfoiling is trimming your foil down enough that you don't end up with a lot of extra pieces. And I'll save this because I'll probably use this for a sentiment or something like that. So I'll just kind of set that out of the way. And now I can move all of this because we don't need this anymore. Set that on the floor because I am running out of desk space. All right, and let's see if I can slide my Glimmer machine here over onto, that's enough on view of camera. It's a little off, but my cord is telling me that's as far as I can go right now. So I'm gonna go with that. All right, and then we just need, and I'm just gonna use, I don't like wasting cardstock, but I really do find that I prefer having a little bigger space to work with. So I really prefer, best of all, so a lot of people like to just put the die on there and then you can set your foil on top once it heats up and set your cardstock. There's also the hinge method that a lot of people use. And I've actually found what I generally like best is I just tape it all in place right to start with. Sometimes I'll even put, you know, using Post-it tape, a little bit in a couple corners, hold everything down, and then I can just set the whole thing right on the machine, hit the timer, and start it and turn it on. Now, while that's heating up and getting ready for us to run through our die cut machine, which I will grab so I have ready, one of the particular tricks that, or things that have helped Lee and I both with getting perfect foil, and I don't remember, Joyce, what that tool, it's a Spellbinders, just a foil cutting tool. I honestly don't remember what it's called. If you go on their website, you'll see it. But Lee and I both use Hammer Mill 100-pound cardstock. We've talked about, we use it for stenciling. I really like how smooth it is. It also works beautifully for foiling. I've done foiling on Nina and some different cardstocks, and I don't have as great of results. And I think it's the smoother surface on that hammer mill for me works just beautifully. I love that. I see another first time live there. Karen, I think I missed another one along there in the comments. So if I missed you, hello and welcome. And there we go. So now I've set this on, my timer has stopped blinking, which tells me it's ready to go. So I'm gonna loosen this. Oops. And then grab my top plates here, set those in place, and run it through my Spellbinders Platinum. And I just like to go nice and slow so it has plenty of time for the pressure to hit. And a lot of times I'll reverse and go back, especially if you're having trouble getting good coverage. Sometimes that can give you a bit of overfoiling, so play with your machine, because I think every machine has tiny variations in pressure. And that's all the hot foiling we're going to do today. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off and move it out of the way. And then the other thing is, if you do have still a little further problem, sometimes I'll add just one little thin cardstock shim between these two plates just to get a little extra pressure. So play with it and see. But the hammer mill, I feel like, has really been not the best. And you know what? And this comes with this lovely little mat to cool things down. I have a glass media mat. I found if I just put my hot foil plates right on there, it cools down so nice and quick. Something about the glass just dissipates the heat, so I can touch it a lot quicker. All right, so here's that magic reveal. And see, I didn't even get any overfoiling. It's perfect. I'm gonna get a little bit of adhesive from my Post-it tape in the corners. So that's out of the way. And just like that, we have that beautiful, I love just how pretty and whimsical these are. Even if you don't stencil or do anything else, you can just die cut them the way they are and they're gonna be beautiful. All right, let me get this out of the way as well. I'm gonna move a couple things off my desk here just to kind of make a little more space to work, because we're gonna move on to stenciling next. And I think I mentioned I have lots of colors that we're gonna use, so. Oh, I didn't, Carol, it went up, huh? Maybe it's because we've been advertising for them and it's getting so popular, right? Can we blame that? I don't know if we can. We could try though. Okay, so I'm gonna go through the stencils. I'm just gonna, I think I'll probably just stick right in the order that they're given. So I like that little alignment guide on the back. That helps a little with seeing the colors and how things work. But again, like I mentioned, I'm gonna do a different color on each of these just for fun. So I'm gonna line up that first one. Since the flowers are really where I'm gonna get creative, this is gonna be kind of the first layer of sort of figuring out the leaves and greenery. I'll probably keep those all pretty consistent. And you'll notice as I line these up, these don't, I'm not using the corner alignment guides because I wanna match these up this time to the foil design. When you foil, you definitely want to foil first and then do your stenciling. So you're gonna line up your stencils with your hot foiled image. So I'm lining these up. The best advice I found is sort of pick like two corners and get those somewhat aligned, and then everything else will just sort of fall into place. So I'm gonna hold that down with some Post-it tape. Kind of make sure I have that in place. I also need to pull out, I just realized I'm going to be needing a bunch of blending brushes, so let me get all of my colors out. Yellow, that's it. Oh, blue and blue. I already warned Leo we're using lots of inks today. Oh, lumber shortages. That's interesting that it's contributing to issues here as well. Okay. Let me pull over. I'm going to pull over all my first flower ink colors. And then I'm just going to pick one at a time to go ahead and color in. So I think I'm going to start with these two bottom ones and just going to mask them out with a little Post-it tape to make sure I don't hit anything I don't want to. I'm going to do one of these purple and one of them blue. So we'll start with soft lilac here for the first one. So get my right blending brushes. I've just got them all sitting here so I don't lose my place. Okay. And this is going to take very little ink because it's just doing one little flower area. So it's going to be pretty simple and pretty quick today. Clean off the ink. And then we'll just switch over. I don't think I really need that there, but I'll leave it there. Okay, and then we'll need the blue. I didn't think to clean these brushes off in advance like I normally do, so we'll just see how it goes. Sky blue. There might be some residual color on here, but sky blue is a pretty soft color, so it'll be okay. Okay. Oh, Ashley, ink blending is so fun and addicting. Once you start, it will be really hard to stop. Hard to stop. I can talk. All right, let's see. So we did those two. So I'm going to have this one here. I think I'm going to do this one yellow. I think I'll do this one orange and this one pink. So let's do, I'm just picking these out of the hat. Nothing. So apricot will be our next color. We'll just do that up here. Again, it's not going to take a ton of ink. These are pretty dainty and whimsical. All right, and then we'll move the mask down here. And just to be safe, Post-it tape is not that expensive, so I'm going to play it safe so I don't accidentally going through these really fast. So I'm trying to leave them here so you can see the color. Lemon Whip is next. I feel like I'm giving Leah a workout today on hurrying through ink colors. Okay. All right, and then we're on to the final one there. And this will be the pink. We'll do sparkling rose. Yes, Rhonda, I love blending brushes. That is, a lot of people do prefer foam still. So what's great is there's so many options now, but I really do love the blending brushes. Okay, that was sparkling rose. Make sure I've got that on there well. Okay, let's pull all those little pieces off because I'll use those again for the next layer of all the flowers. But here is the first magical little reveal here. I love that fun little rainbow of flowers already. Doesn't that just look like a happy spring meadow? All right, let's move all of these ink colors out of the way. And I think the next layer, if I'm correct, so I'm just going to go through them in order today. So stencil number 2 appears to be the leaf stencils or the greenery. So we'll go ahead and just move on to that layer here. I'm just going to kind of wiggle around and jockey a bit until I like the arrangement. And again, just like with the other layer, these are very whimsical and fun that way. So they're kind of designed to be that loose, fun design. So don't try and expect them to line up perfectly. All right, so fresh pear will be our first color for our green. Make sure my ink brush is not too full of a really dark green ink before we start, since fresh pear is a rather soft and pretty color. And then we'll just hit all these greens and leaf. I kind of went with the just really traditional green since I was going on such a fun rainbow of ink on the flowers. I kind of wanted to just keep it a little more traditional for the leaves. A lot of times we do aqua or some different colors, and I just thought this would be kind of fun to keep a little more simple. Okay, most of these, there isn't a lot of room to do it, but these big ones here, and even down here a little, I'm trying to kind of do Leah's trick and make them a little darker at the base of the leaves just to get a little bit of variation in the look and the color. Oh, I see someone just got their first inks. Oh, and Debbie, I'm so glad this is your favorite and that you get to play. And Annalise, you're not very late at all. You haven't missed much. Peel this off. Oh, Janet, I'm so glad you enjoy them too. That makes us happy. All right, next magical reveal. Isn't that fun? I just love the magic of layering stencils. It's hard for it to get old. Stencil number 3 coming right up. So it's another flower layer here that we're going to go for. So I'm going to get that. Like I said, this is a perfect example of lining up these opposite corners, and it kind of lines everything else up just kind of by default by doing that, because these are pretty obvious to line up, and you can see that these are supposed to color a different spot here. Let me pull the example off so you can kind of see that color is totally supposed to go right there just like that. And same on that. So I always like using those as a reference to make sure I've got it right. Okay, a little bit of tape on there to hold it down. Okay, and we're back to all the ink colors again. So I'm going to pull out the next layer of colors, and we'll just do like we did before and work our way through one color at a time. So let's start with lavender, and we'll do the same where we just kind of mask off the areas where we're going to be. And purple brush. Gotta really test if I remember my my color names here. Okay. And especially with these dark colors, it's really not going to take much ink or very long at all to do that. Clean, and I'm cleaning in between each color. I'm masked off, but I'm still taking the time to clean between each one, mostly because I don't want the colors, whatever's left on the stencil, I don't want it to blend and mix and ruin my ink. So I'm just using a microfiber cloth in between. And oops, throwing inks around. Okay, summer showers are next color. Let's go over that the same. These are really small areas, so I'm actually being fairly bold on my stenciling on these because they're deep colors, but I want to make sure there's enough to show and get that contrast. Oh, I love that Sarita for low vision users. And they're so fun, even for, I mean, like kids. I took some on a little weekend getaway with my brother and his family, and I had my, 7-year-old niece doing them. I had my sister-in-law was playing with them. Even my 18-year-old cousin nephew was like, I want to try. I need to do that. So it was kind of fun to have them all using it. Okay, sweet mustard is our next color. I'm trying to say them as I go along, but if I miss a color, just ignore. Okay, and moving along here, we're almost done. I'm going to do apricot for the next one. I'm going to watch comments here as I go through colors. I love how easy this is too, that again, if you want to do these all in different colors, you can. And it's so easy, just a little Post-it tape, a quick little bit of masking, and you get a whole rainbow of wildflowers. So kind of a nice little perk. All right, last one. Pink, there we go. I can read. Just make sure I don't grab the wrong ink pad. Bubblegum, which is such a lovely, happy, bright pink. I absolutely love this color, and I probably don't use it near as much as I should. The other, I know a question we get asked a lot is about using hot foil and then stencils over the top, and if it damages the hot foil. And you'll see on this card, no, it absolutely does not, which made us so happy when we tested that out and were able to figure out that it worked that way. All right, Here we go. And here's that next magical reveal. Don't worry about that little ink I got up there. A little bit of detail on there. All right, so now on to the next layer for the leaves. And, yep, okay. Just want to make sure I have that in the right arrangement there. And again, just kind of wiggle it around until you're happy with the placement. And if you're unsure, use the back of the packaging for an example. All right, last green. So I'm going to do grassy knoll for that one. And I don't have to do any masking now because all the greens are going to be the same. And then we just have a couple little flower centers to think about and do. And over the fresh pear, this is such a bright, happy little pop of color. I know I was thinking a few weeks ago for Facebook Live, we went full on fall, late summer, autumn colors. And this has, to me, a very springy, or, you know, it could still be a summer. And Kitty, that release is coming soon. End of this month or early next month, kind of just waiting to get the supply stuff, but start looking at the end of the month for sneak peeks. Because our Christmas release is all ready and coming soon. Okay. Move that out of the way. Are we ready for the peek at this one? Fun, fun. All right, let's get those flower centers here. This is the last two little layers, which are pretty simple. There's not much to them. So really easy to line up because they're just a couple little spots. And for this one, I'm going to use red ink colors here. Okay, for these flowers up here, I'm going to use the two yellows. For this one down here, I'm going to use, there's only one layer on this one, so I'm going to use, not clementine, hold on. I'm going to use apricot. There we go. Had to think about that. Christmas stencils, Debbie. Wonder if I'm allowed to say. Maybe I'll just say I don't know if I'm allowed to say how many. Because there will definitely be Christmas stencils. Leave it at that. All right, I'm not even going to mask on this because these are far enough away. I'm not too worried about overlapping. I'm still going to clean that off so I don't end up smudging. And then I'm going to do lemon whip for the first layer on these. And then there's one more stencil layer for that one. And I didn't clean my stencil off, so that's probably half sweet mustard, but, or not stencil, my brush. Oh well, we're not going to worry about that. Okay. And there's that, you can see that touch of orange there and the color there. So let's do the last teensy tiny layer on these. Doesn't take much to line these ones up, so. And then sweet mustard for the second layer on this one. And again, I'm gonna make sure that one's nice and bold so it shows up. Clean my desk here to get all the inks off. Oh, Mary Fuller, that's awesome. I have a much harder maiden name. So Hoffman was an upgrade to an easier last name. Okay, here we go. It's kind of a simple little reveal, but it's still fun. So we're not gonna fault that. So there's our fun little meadow of wildflowers. Isn't that fun? Okay, I'm gonna move all the brushes off here. All the last of the inks here. 1, 2, 3, 6. Use 12 inks for this little tiny stencil today. All right, I'm gonna use some rubbing alcohol really quick here just to clean off my desk. Make sure I got all of that ink off of here. And I'll use that to clean my stencils here a little bit later. I won't make you sit through 6 layers of stencil cleaning. I just don't want to smudge anything or clean my fingers off too, because I often end up with ink on my fingers, and when you're trying to make a clean card, it's not worth it. All right, so let's go ahead and move on here and do the die cutting on these. And it's another one of those awesome all in one piece dies. So all we have to do is line this all up all at once, and these will all cut out. I did, Leah. I call it revenge for that rainbow card you made a few weeks ago where I think you used like 40 inks, I'm pretty sure. You used pretty much everything except like the greens and, or not greens, the grays and browns. That kept me busy. Okay, let me pull out my die cut machine again here real quick. And run these through. Run this all through at once. And then, oh, these just pop right out so beautifully. Set this aside, I'll get this back out again in a second. Let's get all of these out of the die. I love these in different colors. I did them all, some in pinks, but to me they're just so much more fun, all in that rainbow. And then if you wanted to make a big set of these, you could just fully stencil this the 5 different times, all in the different colors. Come off my fingers. And then make 5 different cards with just a rotation of the different colors of the flowers. All right, so that's all I had planned now. The rest is winging it. So let's see what we end up doing, because I'm kind of thinking of using one of the blanket stitched ovals. I kind of like the idea of sort of threading these. I don't know, I'm not entirely sure yet. We're gonna figure this out, but I'm kind of liking the idea of threading these around something like so, and then adding our sentiment in the middle. This is going to be a pretty light and bright. No coral reef today, Lori, no coral reef. It's sold out, so I'm making an effort not to use it until it's restocked. Okay, so I'm kind of liking that. I think I'll just cut it from white cardstock. We might add some stencil layering or something like that. I don't know yet. Or colored cardstock, or just keep it really white and bright. So let's go ahead and just run this through the die cut machine and see where we go. Okay, I'll put this away for now. Who knows? We might end up with another die cut. It's possible. Keep it handy in case we decide that we need to. And I'm pretty sure I'm just going to use a positive die cut. I'm going to keep this handy because there's ever so slight a chance that we might just decide that we like. Let me see this here now. I got to decide. Do we like the negative or do we like the positive? Especially if we kind of tuck. Okay. Leah's a rule breaker. Yes. It's a hard to give up on coral reef when you know, love it so much. But I am trying. I'm taking the opportunity to, broaden my horizons. Okay. Let's see. Do we like that? I almost kind of like them peeking through there, so I might end up using. I'm kind of tucked in there. And let's see if our sentiment. I think we could make that work. We could tuck that sweet friend right in there. and then pick another. I think that sentiment goes perfect with these bright florals. What do you guys think? Okay, let me grab a stamp base for that. Or stamp base, a card base. I know what I'm saying. Okay. And really quickly, before I wiggle and move those, since I'm kind of happy with the arrangement, I'm kind of big on, I don't want to have to reinvent the wheel if I don't have to, right? I mean, I can retuck them in, but if I've already got something I love, then why mess with it, right? Okay, so let's pull out, yeah, I think the thin foam strips will be kind of handy for this. I want to put this up on foam for obvious dimension here. These are just pre-cut strips from. As I'm doing this, I'm realizing I have not added, oh, that didn't, okay. I guess I didn't tape those down enough anyway, so. That's okay. I'll rearrange those. They're not set in stone yet, so fortunately there's still time to fix that. This one across here, a little more there. These even tear pretty easily, which is another little bonus. I'm gonna leave room. This at least is giving me the guidelines so I know I'm leaving room for stuff where I want. Oh, not always, Ashley. Sometimes I think some of it's the pressure of live that I tend to just kind of decide quicker. When I'm just on my own and fiddling around, it doesn't always go that way. I can promise you that. All right, I think that's going to be good enough for there. A little gunk on that card base. I realized maybe I should have stamped my sentiment first, but we'll go ahead and do it. I really truly think it's funny because sometimes I feel like when I'm live, I just kind of have to make those split-second decisions. And most of the time, those end up being my favorite cards. It's the ones that I make on my own where I'm distracted and there's other things going on and I sit and overthink everything. I mean, sometimes they're okay, but I really do feel like these ones often are my favorite just because I'm winging it a little more and just kind of going for it. Okay. All right, let's see if we can. This is the same size as my card base, so excuse my head as I put it in there and make sure I line that up just right. Because I didn't do a border or anything around because that oval is so nice and big that I didn't want to mess with that. And then I can pull that Post-it tape off and we can actually get these officially glued down. But now I'm trying to decide, do I want to? All right. Love how that kind of, let's see, let's get that arranged in there. Okay, let's get some liquid glue for this. I know there is that aspect of deadlines. All right, real quick, let's just, without losing the place on these. No, you know what, I'm gonna pull them out and do them one at a time so I can get a little glue down at the bottom. Oh no, I don't think this is ever clogged up. So let's make sure I have that cleaned. I did use it in a hurry and didn't, oh good. I was like, oh no, did I clog it up? Okay, a little bit of glue at the base there. And then just a little bit on each of those spots. The liquid glue will give me a little bit of wiggle room and time to get these set in stone before I, oh, I'm gonna go over the top there And curl that over. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to start there with these. I think I'm only going to put a little glue at the bottom and scooch them under. And then I think I'll pop a little foam adhesive under the back of them there. Okay, let's do that. Just a little bit at the bottom. Okay, and I know I'm missing comments now because my brain is definitely focused on getting these placed just right. That curled up a little, oops, and of course, I'm messy with adhesive. You have to look out for me. Okay, let's close up this glue here. And you know, I mean, obviously we love it when you buy stamps, but never feel, a lot of these can be adapted, sometimes even to stamp sets you already have in your stash. So sometimes it's worth it to look and see, you know, can I recreate this with something else I have too? So never feel like you have to go buy everything. Sometimes it's fun just to take the idea and make it your own with something different that you have on hand. All right, a little foam behind that one. This one is already kind of curled up, so I'm just going to do a little more liquid adhesive behind that one because it's already coming up over the edge. And then let's do a little more foam adhesive on the back of that one. Just kind of doing it behind the scenes so I can get it. And I'm just going to leave the rest of it just kind of floating free there so that it's loose and able just to be free and do its own thing. All right, all the junk out of the way here. And so now this is going to be really bright and light and clean and simple, but we're going to add our sentiment on here. I think I've sort of changed how I put these on. So let's see. Oh boy. You know what? I did not leave enough room for the sentiment to go all on there. I should have stamped it before I finished assembling. So I'm going to do that horrible, scary thing and cut this apart. Stamp surgery live. You can do that with your stamps just because they're in one piece. I can still fit it back together to do that. But now I suddenly have a little more wiggle room with where I want to put the sentiment. So I think I'm going to put that sweet friend down here. And then, nope, I like the sweet friend up here for sure. And one thing I do a lot, if I can find it there, spray bottle with a little bit of water. If you wet your fingertips ever so slightly, it helps keep those sticky stamp pieces from sticking to your fingers so bad. Sometimes I struggle a little with that. Okay. Sweet friend, thank you for brightening my day. Okay, get that wiggled in there right where I want it. Scary part of getting it all straight. I know, cutting apart, you don't have to do that. If you planned ahead better than me and put your sentiment on there before you got so far, you wouldn't have to even think about it. But I did not, so I made it work. All right, so sweet friend, thank you for brightening my day. Straighten that ever so slightly again. I'm just going to stamp this. Hope this will work in my, this might be one of those, oh, a stamp eraser. That's a good idea to move the stamp. Okay, we're getting brave here because we've got all the dimension and everything. So fingers crossed that this will stamp good. Detail black ink. And I'm gonna go careful on my stamping and see how it goes. I'm gonna go ahead and use that microfiber cloth to get some pressure on there. Oh, good. Okay, I'm gonna stamp it a couple times, but it looks like it's stamping despite having to work around all my dimension. And I think that's actually pretty good there. All right, let's pull this out of the way. And then I do have, really quick, just for the detail black, this isn't rubbing alcohol, this is a homemade stamp cleaner. I'm gonna quickly just clean that off because then I don't have to worry about my stamp being clean, because the longer that sits on there, the more it's not going to hurt the stamp. I just like to keep them nice and clean. And so since I got that cleaning recipe from Leah, I like to use it. Okay. And actually I can put these away in a few minutes. We're done stamping, so I'll just worry about that in a minute. All right. Any guesses on what we still need to add? I'm sure nobody has any idea. Now the question is, crystals, jewels. We could do the gold pearls, but I think I feel like some fun colors are called for on this one today. Let's see. Maybe some of those. Maybe some blue. I don't know, maybe the lighter pink. No, I think the darker pink's fun. That yellow, white. It'll be some combination of, oh, purple could work too. I don't think I'm gonna put all of those, but everybody knows it's bling. Okay. So I wanna do some little trios. I really think the yellow is a good color. So let's plan on some yellow. I'm liking the pink. I have to go with the white then next. I kind of like those colors together. So let's see if we can make some fun little trios. Okay. Or we could do, it's got medium. I think I might do pink up there. I might have to pull out that orange one. We'll see. Kind of, yeah. Sorry, this is where I'm definitely gonna be thinking heavy on what I want to do. So I've got blue down there, so I'm trying to kind of complement my crystal colors by what I have in different corners there. Since I have yellow there, I'm going to switch this out and put, there we go, bigger yellow. Let's do that one. And then maybe, oh, and then a lavender. That would work good because we've got the purple up there. Need one of those. Let's try white. I think we'll do the last color on both of these with a white. I think that might just do it. What do you think? That'll work. I'm gonna put the lid back on these because I know if I don't, I'll knock my elbow and they'll all bump over. Okay. A little speck of dust there, and there we go. I don't know why it was bugging me, but it was. All right, let's get these stuck down. There's something about Costco and something not being for food. So I have no idea what that was. Let's go. I like the white too. I always think of, I guess these colors for a card always make me think a little bit of Dee on our design team. She does beautiful cards with so much lovely white space. And I love clean, simple, and white, and she always rocks it. And so this was kind of with her in mind when I created this, because I figured I was channeling my inner Dee on this one. Okay. How are we doing for time? Oh, we're doing good. I might ponder one last thing here, because I'm kind of feeling like I want to add one more little tidbit of something. So let me pull it out and see if it'll work, if we can tuck it on. If not, we'll just leave this as is, because I do like it clean and simple as is. There's one more thing that might add a little bit of fun interest. Crescent seal. Okay, that's what the conversation was. Okay, let me grab that. Find it. Here we go. Thinking a couple of little leafy branches tucked around the edges might be kind of fun on this. So let's die cut a couple of those from white and just see what happens. I have some white scraps I need to use up, and I kind of just want the ends of it. So I'm going to do them that way. Good way to use up some scraps too, right? I like Leah's idea there. I don't know if you were seeing her stamp cleaner recipe. She adds a little bit of lavender oil. The recipe I found and used actually used rose water, so that made it smell good too. A couple of these, and then we can easy to pull out once you just get it started there. I'm going to do a few of these. I love this little detailed leafy branch. So normally I would have done this in advance, but it's kind of an afterthought here. So the jewel tool, the one I'm using is the Studio Capia. I don't know what to call it. There's a name for it, but it's their jewel placement tool. There's also the crystal katana that I've used a lot and really love. So there's a few different, it's just a wax tip. Sorry, I'm gonna cut a couple more of these just to make sure I have enough while I've got the die cut machine going. And they work really well for placing. I mean, you saw how quickly I could just pop those into place. And for the capital letters for me to see. Get my attention. My kids always say I'm yelling if I type in capital letters when I'm texting or anything. All right, we probably won't use all of these, but these are such a good basic. They're always good to have on hand. So I won't be short and wishing I had more. Okay, move that out of the way. And let's see if these are what we want to add. And again, I didn't use the whole thing just because I knew I only wanted the top edges of them. Okay. Oh, yes. Okay. This is a pretty easy, solid yes, I can already tell. It's exactly what I wanted. Okay, I don't need that on there. But yes, this is totally what we wanted. It's going to add so much little detail and interest there. Just that little bit that we want. All right, I might try some of these other little sprigs. We might end up using more of these little pieces on here. Let's see, tuck one of those in there, and then we'll use another one of the longer pieces. Yes, okay. Tuck that one way under maybe. I just tend to kind of take these and trim them down to what works and tuck them around. Nope, that's still too much. Okay. Wasn't quite sure if that was gonna. Just lay these around and then we'll tuck them a little more officially once I get them sort of wiggled into place, and then I'll just use a dab of liquid glue to stick them down. Let's see, I feel like it needs, there we go, kind of around those things there. I think I need a bigger one there, but we're gonna go a little on the shorter side. Let's see if I can get a hold of this. Wiggle that in. Okay, and then that I think right there, and then I think we're kind of hitting about what I'm looking for here. Just that little bit of something that I felt like was missing. Just makes it a little more full. Can you, oh no, okay. I'm gonna stick these down before I lift that up. Before I mess it up. Okay, now this is the tricky part of how to do this without making a mess. Just gonna add a little glue behind a couple of the leaves, not all of them, and kind of on some key points here. Okay, stay there. A little bit fiddly part because of course I, wasn't smart enough to plan ahead. Stick there, not to me. For the most part, these do a pretty good job of, once you kind of get what you're doing on there and get a little glue, that liquid glue is going to adhere fairly well, so it's not going to take much to adhere that in place. All right. A little more there. I think we can call that good. Do see there that well, it's not too bad anyway. It's okay if it goes over that word a little. All right, clean this off. That makes me, first of all, it makes it even more feel like a D card to me. And it also makes me feel like it's clean and simple, but it has just a little more interest. All right, close that up, and I've got lots of extra leaves for later. And then here's one quick closer peek at our finished card today. Super duper fun. All right. So I'm gonna get that camera switched back around so we can say goodbye. And I can catch Leah announcing a winner. Oh no, tornadoes in Ontario. I'm so sorry, Margaret. It'll definitely be on here to rewatch. So if you want to watch anything again, it is on here for you to do that. Okay. Sorry, making a little clean spot on my desk so I can switch this around. And there we go. Oh, thank you, Lori. A+. All right. We'll let Leah announce the winner. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today and putting up with my not much of an idea again and playing with it until we got it good. Now I'm just looking at it going, yeah, I like the leaves. It needed the leaves. That was the final, totally flick through red. The white leaves totally made it. I liked it, but the leaves finished it off really well. All right. Present seal is not used for food. Okay. Well, I'm that weird person who uses it for both because Fortunately, my kitchen is right through that door to my craft room, and I keep my press and seal in there, and I just go grab it when I need it. All right, I see congratulations to Cheryl. And I remember we had a discussion on pronouncing your name last or recently. I want to say girl, Cheryl Girl. Congratulations, you won today's $15 gift card. If I said it wrong, I apologize. But yes, email Leah at Pink Fresh Studio. Her name is Lea, no H on her name, and give her a couple days to get back to you. And Leah, you're very welcome. And I think on Thursday, I think we'll still have Facebook Live. I'm not sure if it'll be Leah or I doing it. It might end up getting canceled. I'm not sure if Leah doesn't have her voice back, because I might possibly be gone that day. Summer and plans changing. And then YouTube Scrapbook Live on Friday is canceled this week. We're postponing it a week. And then I believe we have Craft Hour this Saturday as well. So just keep an eye on our Instagram feed, sign up for notifications and emails, and you'll get all of those as they come up. So thanks again, everyone, for joining us. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and we'll hopefully see you soon. Bye for now.